Hello, everyone. I'm Brad Becker. How good it is to have you with us on Red Barn Radio tonight. We continue to celebrate the 20th season of Red Barn Radio, and this evening we welcome you to show number 777. Wow. Wow. John Boyer is a highly respected singer and multi-instrumentalist who has been writing and recording for over 20 years. Jamie Hood, his versatile songwriting partner, is also a carpenter, a multimedia artist, and a weaver. Hoosiers, born and raised, based out of their cabin in the fabled hills of south central Indiana, the Hammer and the Hatchet have a sound and spirit you will want infusing your playlists from here on out. Welcome John Boyer and Jamie Hood, the Hammer and the Hatchet.
Thank you for having us. All right, the first one we're going to play is Tinfoil Rings.
Let's watch the moon rise above the hills, across the valley, far away, above the sycamore, below the stars above us, holding on by tinfoil rings. Tinfoil rings are tinfoil rings. They remind us of the little things, like keeping the fire burning in a steady rain, holding on by tinfoil rings. Never had many worldly treasures. I never had much money to spare, but we sure had our share of trouble. And this world keeps spinning, holding on by tinfoil rings. Tinfoil rings are tinfoil rings. They remind us of the little things, like keeping the fire burning in a steady rain, holding on by tinfoil rings. Sometimes it can feel like we're miles apart, babe. Sometimes it feels like we're joined at the heart. We've sifted through a lot of junk. We've had a little bit of luck, found a few dreams and a pair of tinfoil rings. Tinfoil rings are tinfoil rings. They remind us of the little things, like keeping the fire burning in a steady rain, holding on by tinfoil rings.
And welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
The Hammer and the Hatchet, our guests this evening on Red Barn Radio, are John Boyer and Jamie Hood. Based in Bloomington, Indiana, and birthed by the hill country pickin' parties that are synonymous with the Brown County Hills, the Hammer and the Hatchet have created a bluegrass-inspired, harmony-rich sound that you are going to be sure to enjoy. They are now premiering Shake Off the Cold, which isn't actually released yet. It's going to be released next week.
Yes.
And how exciting it is for us to hear some of these tunes before everyone else. Yep. So we are so glad to have you all here. Welcome, the Hammer and the Hatchet.
Thank you for having us tonight. We're glad to be here. We're going to kick it off with a few that were some of our older tunes. This one here is the first one of mine that Jamie learned how to sing, and she really brought this song to life here. It's called Kentuckiana Blues. Come on, and I want you pick up your phone. I know bad reception can be a gift in those hills you call home. My boss called me and they've had another wreck in the mill. The casters are down, I'm stuck out in Crawfordsville. Yes, I'm stuck out in Crawfordsville with those Kentuckiana blues, and I won't be down for a while. No, I won't make it down for a while. I've got those Kentuckiana blues. Time on the river along the old Oxbow Bend. How we made the sweetest love 'neath the iron bridge. Took a gamble on a riverboat rolling up and down the hill, passing barges hauling ore bound for some steel mill. But it's hard to believe the few miles between heaven and hell. Oh, but one day I'm gonna get out of this godforsaken mill. I'm stuck here in Crawfordsville, those Kentuckiana blues, and I won't be down for a while. No, I won't make it down for a while. And I've got those Kentuckiana blues. Yes, I've got those Kentuckiana blues. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we put that song on our first record in 2014, and we've released it a couple of times now, different packages and stuff. But our Kentucky family, our Kentucky music family, we've gotten to know so well on the river, and that's kind of become our theme song for playing down there.
Yep. This next song is It's a song that Jamie Hood wrote. It's one of my favorites. It's called Rose Garden.
I'll let you do what you ask me to. It'll break my heart in two if you want me to. I know you think you're grown, old enough to make it through this world alone. I tried to make our little house a home. Now there's no home without you. I never promised you a bed of roses. I never had one to give. I scraped together what I could. That's how we live. When times get tough and you're feeling like you had enough, just keep rowing when the seas get rough. That's what I've learned to do. I never promised you a rose garden. I never had one to give. I scraped together what I could. That's how we live. If you want me to, I'll let you do what you've asked me to. It'll break my heart in two if you want me to. I never promised you a bed of roses. I never had one to give. I scraped together what I could. That's how we live.
All right, yeah. Woo. That's always a fun song to play, babe. I love that.
This next one's called Insomnia Song. Been up all night, been up all morning too. I've been worrying myself to death, thinking about you. Ain't it hard enough knowing that you're gone? When things got rough, you moved along, and I know you feel lonesome. Honey, I do too. There's better ways to kick the blues. Can't sleep, the wind keeps running through my head. All the little things I could have done, the things I should have said. Ain't it hard enough knowing that you're gone?
All right. Well, this next one is a song that was about our first date. Jamie invited me to go hiking up on Browning Mountain down in southern Brown County, and she happened to take. We were going along with some of her friends you might know, Reverend Peyton and Breezy Peyton, and from Big Damn Band and some of those folks, and we all went camping and hiking up on top of this mountain, and they decided to keep me in the group. I didn't get ran off the mountain, so I'm still here.
That's right.
I passed the exam, I think. Maybe. This is called Brown County Stone. County stone, hewn from the hills that I call home, by stonemen from the days of old. My love for you, rich as the stories they told, strong as a bridge made from Brown County stone. Well, no dog lies down on our hearth made of stone. Pot of stew simmers on our cast iron stove. Winter fires glow, helps to warm our little home, tucked in the hills of Brown County stone. Brown County stone, hewn from the hills that I call home, by stonemen from the days of old. My love for you, rich as the stories they told, strong as a bridge made from Brown County stone. We went to camp up on Browning Mountain, through a cloud of dust we found our way. Five fiddleheads made our beds underneath the stars. We built a bridge that sunny April day. Brown County stone, hewn from the hills that I call home, by stonemen from the days of old. My love for you, rich as the stories they told, strong as a bridge made from Brown County stone. Strong as a bridge made from Brown County stone.
All right.
Right, thank you.
Hey, our guests this evening are Jamie Hood and John Boyer. They are the Hammer and the Hatchet, and what fun it is to have you guys here finally. I feel like it took us a little time to kind of finally zero in on an actual date. And
All in good time, you
I'm
know?
glad it all worked out,
Yes.
and so glad that you guys are here.
Very honored to be here.
Cool.
Humbled.
Cool. We're glad too. And, I wonder if we might begin with you all telling us about this this place where you live, this county where you live, Brown County, that you are obviously both so fond of. You're rooted deeply in that place.
Yeah, for
Well,
different reasons.
Yeah, and I would love to hear you all just talk about that town and talk about that place, that county, and maybe tell us some things that might surprise us about that part of Indiana.
Well, I moved to Brown County via Bloomington, Indiana. I went to school at IU and realized that we'd been taking trips to Brown County my whole childhood and enjoying the hills and the lodge and the hiking trails there in the park. I didn't really realize it was so close to Bloomington when I moved to school, which is kind of a funny thing. But anyway, I ended up buying a house there. I found a place when I was 23 years old in foreclosure and bought that place, and I made some of the best friends. There's a lot of weirdos that live in Brown County, a lot of artistic types.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, a lot of people that like
Renaissance
to
people, for sure.
yes, do things themselves, build things with their hands. And so there's a lot of pride in the people that live there. And we all band together and help each other out with what we're good at. And I think it makes us all stronger, you know, and it's a beautiful place to live for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a wonderful place. I too, my family used to, it's a touristy and natural forest or, national forest area kind of where we live. And I too, as a young kid, was brought down to go camping and stuff with my family. Some best memories, of my childhood and stuff there. But then later I started playing music, and I was playing music around Indianapolis and stuff. And I started really getting into bluegrass and things, and started meeting some musicians that were coming up from Brown County in Indianapolis or Greenfield or wherever I was at the time, and the pull became magnetic because Bill Monroe's Beam Blossom, Bill Monroe's Music Park is there, where Bill Monroe had his bluegrass festivals there.
In Brown County?
Yeah, still have his festivals there now. So it was just like a magnet. I was drawn down there to the music, and me writing the stuff that I was writing, I just felt like it fit down there, and it did. And lo and behold, I made that leap to move down there, and then met Jamie, and then moved down there actually. But,
So this town you live in is Nashville.
we actually
that right?
live in between Bloomington and Nashville.
Yes, between Nashville, Indiana and Bloomington, Indiana is where we live. It's actually called Belmont. The only thing that people really know from Belmont is the Belmont Mall, and that's where John Mellencamp did all his recording. REM has been there to record, and there's a laundry list of
James McMurtry,
yes,
just
James
a
McMurtry.
just a mile
Yes,
from
so-
our house where we live. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
it's just a mile around the corner there from our place. So anyway, that's kind of the claim to fame for Belmont is that, and also TC Steele Historic Site, and that is a place where we go to write songs and hike and clear our minds, and that's actually the homestead of one of the first landscape artists that came from New York, moved to Brown County, and established it as an artist colony.
Right. He was in a
artsy people, musicians, that's kind of the way it goes
Wow.
there in Nashville, Indiana.
he was an American impressionist.
Yes.
So he was an impressionist painter, but it was American. So they all formed a group and had big shows in Chicago and in Europe and stuff like that. And so it was pretty early on, and that's how Nashville became an artist colony, because he was there.
Yeah.
He was famous, and so all of his friends wanted to come there too. But it was really remote back then, So it was a really
So
wild
flash
and beautiful
forward
place.
to 2014 or whatever, and pickin' parties are still really very much a thing where we come from.
In your
after
town?
parties
Oh,
in
yeah.
our town, and that's where John and I met. It's
Yep.
through that community of coffee shop artists, musicians, having my friends like to have folks over and make them dinner and welcome them into the basement for late night jam sessions, and that's
Right.
that's where John and I met.
Otis
When-
Todd's and Sam Heron's house. and-
When you met, was it the first time that both of you were at this pickin' party at the same time?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I mean, I practically lived there at that time.
But, yeah,
I
that's
was there
really
all the
first time.
time, but it was the first time John and I were there together. It was over a Thanksgiving party, and then we just kind of kept bumping into each other, and by St. Patrick's Day, we had a date.
I kept booking more gigs that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got kind of, just, I don't know, finding more stuff to do in Brown County for some reason.
And so you all, then that was 2014. And how soon after that were the two of you actually out sort of performing as the act that you call the Hammer and the Hatchet?
Not very long.
So I didn't play a guitar when I met John. I like to sing, but I didn't play guitar. But pretty quickly after I started singing and running around with my friends playing music, I realized that I should pick up an instrument and learn how to accompany myself. I grew up playing piano, and that's not a portable instrument. So it was pretty exciting to have something that I could travel around and noodle around on and find my way. The first time we played together, it just actually turned on the calendar. We just saw the memory come up. It was on the 20th of June at Irvington Folk Festival. John and I played together 8 years ago.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
8 years
That's
ago.
the quick answer.
Oh, neat. No quick answers necessary. Well, that's pretty cool. And then you decided that this would be your name, and you've probably told the story 1,000 times about how you arrived at this name. Do you care to tell it again, or?
I had this idea in my head kind of floating around. It was either, and when I get little ideas, it could either be a song or a name for something. I didn't really know at the time. Well, we went to go play the show, and neither of us have really given us a thought about the the name of our band or anything, and they asked us as we were walking up on stage what their name should be, and I just remembered the Hammer and the Hatchet.
It was
And-
spontaneous.
yeah,
Is what
and-
he's saying. We didn't have an act name.
Not really.
We hadn't really thought about it. And then it just kind of stuck. He wasn't really trying to give us nicknames or anything like that. But we kind of retroactively tell the story like, two useful objects. They can get about anything done together.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's how we like
our
to
buddy
think of it.
I
Chris,
like that.
like our buddy Chris Wolf says, the hatchet splits and the hammer mends or something like that. I like
That
that
guy.
too. Yeah.
Well, that seems to sort of suit where you live and kind of the life that you live as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I know of it so far. You live in a cabin.
Yeah,
Is that right?
It's
Kind of a
cedar
cabin?
sided, It's not really a cabin. That
It's
was
tucked back in a
But
hollow
yes,
for
it's
sure. It's a half berm little house. It's
Built
not very
into the
big,
hill.
and it's just a lovely little home.
A house that you
Backwards.
found or a house that you built?
a house that I found, but I brought back to life. It was in foreclosure, and the poor thing just needed so much love. There was no light, and there was no heat, and there was hardly any flooring. And so I've built that house myself. In my bio, it says, I'm a carpenter. And when I was 23, I became one by necessity, and then I trained and became, I've built on lots and lots of things since then.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
Where'd you learn? How did you learn?
From my mentors. My mom, actually, she loved to build things, so she taught me how to approach a tool, look at how it works,
Oh, I love that.
understand it, that sort of thing. And then just creativity makes you have to learn how to do things, And before I knew it, I have an idea, and then I'd learn how to do it, and maybe take a job that stretched me a little bit farther so that I could get better, sometimes framing, sometimes doing subflooring, sometimes trim work, until cabinet building was my last job. And an odd transition perhaps, but I broke my thumb on a table saw 3 years ago, which really kind of forced me to have to make a decision, like it was one of those reality moments where, what do you like more? And music, playing music. So, I can always go back to running saws, I guess, if it doesn't work out.
Ooh.
Ooh. You like a Phillips head screw or a star head screw?
Are you like Torx?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just am so hooked on the star screws now. The star
Yes,
heads.
they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Hey, it's great to have you all with us. We are here with Jamie Hood and John Boyer. They are the Hammer and the Hatchet, and we're going to get back to some more music, and we'll come back and talk some more later.
Yeehaw.
All right. I think we're going to play a few songs from the new album now, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. And this one is about hiking in the woods, which we do a lot of. And it's called Bluebells.
Walking through the woods when we stumbled on what once was a little cabin home. You could tell by the daffodils and the yucca plant. You could barely make out the foundation stones in the moss. They're all overgrown and the cabin logs had long since returned to the earth. Well, there's a chimney standing with a mantle and a heart, a cross-cut saw and bluebells in ball jars. Well, no one's been around here in quite a while. Well, the nearest road's damn near a country mile to the east, back off a scarce and fat ridge. I stand the trees is where the fields once were. How anyone can scratch anything out of this dirt is beyond me. Up here, well, that's what they've done. Around the chimney standing with a mantle and a heart, the cross-cut saw and bluebells in ball jars.
Oh, on hot summer days, there
ever was a moment in time when a weary traveler needed shelter in the night and was invited in to shake off the cold. And he played his fiddle around the fire, made all the young ones smile. The sound filled the cabin, made it feel like a home. Around a chimney standing with a mantle and a hearth, a cross-cut saw and bluebells in ball jars. Around a chimney standing with a mantle and a hearth, a cross-cut saw and bluebells in ball jars. All right. Well, this next one is a Jamie Hood original. That last one was called Bluebells, and this one's called Same Storm. It is a Jamie Hood original.
Goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skies have been looking pretty clear. Things are going good, nothing to fear. Did I just feel a drop of rain? Don't worry none, it's the same storm, different day. And the clouds grow dark, and the rain comes down. All our worries start to float away. Keep in mind, same storm, different day. Try to stay closer to the source. Don't spend much time on remorse. One thing you can count on is change. It happens every day. And the clouds grow dark, and the rain comes down. All our worries start to float away. Keep in mind, same storm, different day. Smell the rain on the breeze. It's something that sets my mind at ease. With the wind blowing in from the north, I pull up a chair on my porch, and the clouds grow dark, and the rain comes down. All our worries start to float away. Keep in mind, same storm, different that one goes.
All right, thank you. This next one's called Virginia Creeper. Gonna wake up in the morning and go bury a man. I'm out on the rent, I'm out on the plan. Well, the hole be deep, but my love is much deeper. It's a tangled up mess like Virginia creeper. Way down in the west, by God, you'll be laid out on heavyweight cotton. Well, the hole be deep, but my love is much deeper. It's a tangled up mess like Virginia creeper. Don't you come around acting like a preacher at me. I've opened my eyes and I can see what I see. Well, the hole be deep, but my love is much deeper. It's a tangled up mess like Virginia creeper. I'm the one alive, I'm the one that's still alive. Way down in the west, by God, you'll be laid out on heavyweight cotton. Will the hole be deep, but my love is much deeper. It's a tangled up mess like Virginia creeper. Will the hole be deep, but my love is much deeper. It's a tangled up mess like Virginia creeper.
I like that one. Virginia Creeper. Whew.
Yeah.
Hey, before I tell you about what we have coming up next on Red Barn Radio, remember this, Red Barn live streams, both tonight's and on any Wednesday, remain available online for you to view at your own convenience on the Red Barn YouTube channel. Our live video stream is also available on the weku.org website, as is our audio stream, compliments of wgad.net in Central New York. Don't miss a single episode of our program, and be sure to tell your friends what it is that you like about Red Barn Radio. Next week, we have an extraordinary show with Lee Carroll's See the Beat. Lexington-based keyboardist Lee Carroll has assembled an all-star lineup of players who are exploring the rhythms of Africa, Cuba, and New Orleans grooves, from reggae and funk to home soul jazz. The range of sound you're going to hear from See the Beat will exhilarate and astound. You must be here for this. Don't miss Lee Carroll and See the Beat. That's next week on Red Barn Radio. Red Barn Radio, listen to the live. Now let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We welcome you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall in the grand city of Lexington, Kentucky. Please welcome back the Hammer and the Hatchet to the Red Barn stage.
Thank you very much. Really glad to be here. Thank you.
I'm going to play one called My Heart. Don't know why you take it. It's not like you could ever unbreak it. My heart, oh, tried to lay the best of plans, done all the work that I can. Don't know who I am without my heart. Put the pieces back best I could. Try to fill it up with good. Doesn't feel like it should. My heart. Gonna try hard every day, work to find a way to play. It's getting better every day. My heart, oh, my heart. Don't know why you take it. It's not like you could ever unbreak it. My heart, oh, my heart.
Good job, Jamie Hood.
Oh,
Love that song. I just started playing that one again. I haven't played that for a little while.
so this next one here was a gift. Our friend Rick Nagy, he wrote this tune, and then he gave it to us because we learned it for him on the radio to play on live on the radio, and he couldn't remember it when we got on the radio. So anyway, we played it, and he said y'all can have that song, so we credit him on our record for it. But this one here is called Whispering Pines.
Back to the mountains
To escape the city life, too much sin and temptation for a Christian man and wife.
They say the path is straight and narrow won't be marked with neon signs. So we moved back to the mountains neath the whispering pines. Now those whispering pines are spreading rumors. They say you're gonna leave here and go back where you can find a life of raising cane and honky-tonks and swimming whiskey rivers. Don't tell me that it's only in my mind. I heard it from the whispering pines. Built us a little cabin. We cleared a couple acres. By day I worked the fields. By night down in the mines. Thought this honest way of living make you sanctified and happy, raising kids like Ma and Pappy neath the whispering pines. Now those whispering pines are spreading rumors. They say you're gonna leave here and go back where you can find a life of raising cane and it's only in my mind. I heard it from the whispering pines. Don't tell me that it's only in my mind. I heard it from the whispering pines.
Yeah. I love that song. That's a boot stomper. Well, we sure are having a blast out here. I know there's some people streaming along with us, and I'm really glad you're with us here at Red Barn Radio. We sure are honored to be here. We understand, a lot of the people that have played on this stage, we're all big fans of them, and I'm really glad to be here tonight with y'all. This one here is about our home place and the hill next to it, literally like 40 feet as you turn left out our front door, right out our front door, sorry. And it's called Ferris Hill. And some people bought that property and ended up just logging the top of it off, and all this sort of stuff. So it's a lot of change that happens when somebody does that out in the wilderness. It's across the fence line from you. So this song's kind of like, how do you deal with your neighbor? Are you still upset, but you're there, your neighbor, and you say your piece, and it's just how it is, And it's called Ferris Hill. Well, say, old Bill, heard you bought up Ferris Hill. No, I've seen those big machines coming around. Well, say, old Bill, you're still kicking back that swill that your son runs off way back up in the hollow. I think you've lost your mind. 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 Now I remember a time back before you came around, when that hill for me became hallowed ground. When I hiked up to the top, a day of good friendship, I fell apart up there, but I don't think you could give a damn about that. Swear I lost my mind. 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 And now you're clearing off all the big timber. Say, old Bill, hope you made a mighty good dollar. But you don't give a damn about all the tops you let fall. Clog up our holler. Think you've lost your mind. Think you've lost your
mind.
Think you've lost your mind. You've lost your
Mind.
Now my clear, cool creek is running brown.
Wow. Well, in a town like Lexington, which has a big university, we always talk about the sort of the town gown relationship, right? How the people here work with all of the needs of the university, and how we share interests and what interests we don't share. And you have that, I guess, in your area. Well, I guess we all have that wherever we live. And yours sounds like is more about sort of town and maybe tourism.
It's kind of both, because Nashville, Indiana is an artist colony and touristy, and there's Brown County State Park over there. Bloomington, Indiana is a college town. Indiana University is there.
How far from you?
10 minutes. 10 minutes either direction.
Either way, we live right
We're
in the middle.
Yeah, 10 minutes smack dab in the middle.
That close, okay.
Yes.
All right.
And
Yes.
down below Bloomington then is Hoosier National Forest, Monroe Reservoir, and it's really hilly. For Indiana, it's pretty rugged and hilly out through that way, people who live there are a little more salt of the earth. It seemed like a little more people that find a way to get things done, real resourceful. I love that about that area. But yeah,
But I do think that Ferris Hill, the topic of that song,
Sure.
is super relatable to people, whether you live in town or
Sure.
in the country.
It is.
Because it's a good metaphor for, this is your property line. You can do what you want over there. It does affect your neighbor. And, you can care about that or not care about that.
Yes, right.
I don't know.
And reap those consequences, I guess, would be the way to finish that sentence.
Right.
Yes.
And you could lose your mind, hating your neighbor.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
right. We've
And-
certainly had to work on that in these
Yeah.
last few years, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yes, and so I'm
Always, yeah.
glad that people kind of get that from this song.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a great song. Really, really powerful. Love for you to tell the story about your Guild guitar there. First of all, before you tell about the full story, I would like to note that I see you as a piano player. You have elected to keep your fingers
Yes.
active on the strings. You decided not to use a flat pick when you started to play. Is that right?
That's right. A big part of your style is limitations. That's what I've learned over the years of playing. All the great players say that. They say a big part of style is limitation. If you can't figure out how to do something, then you find a workaround and you do it the best you can, and that becomes your style.
Yeah.
So I had my right hand was reconstructed. I was a gymnast and a gymnastics coach, and so my right hand doesn't quite line up right. So with the frustration of trying to learn how to operate my left hand and dropping the pick all the time with my right hand, I decided to just become a finger picker. And
Yeah.
So I've developed an interesting style. People ask me a lot of questions about the way I play. I tend to play the bass notes with my thumb and then just kind of have this almost claw hammer thing going on with my digits. So
Yeah, it's a very nice sound.
Thank you.
You all complement each other so nicely. Tell us about the story about your guild.
So the Guild, I call her Gilda Redner. I do.
All right.
She's a 77 Guild D25, and I first played this guitar at a studio, Glass Eye Studio in Zionsville, Indiana. And the Guyman brothers, they had this studio, and this guy had this guitar, and I played it. I had been playing this Dean guitar with a lot of appointments, very shiny guitar. It was given to me to play, didn't stay in tune, all of those things. And so I played this guitar, and it was so nice. It sounded good to me. I tried to buy it. He wouldn't sell it to me. I went and bought another Guild. And a few months later, he called me and said, hey, I'd like to sell that now. And I didn't have the money, of course, but we scraped it together and figured it out. So this guitar survived a house fire. It was in an attic in its case. Its case was charred, but the guitar kind of blew apart, and a luthier, hydrated it for months, put it back together, and she's got the battle scars to prove it. But I swear that heat maybe changed the way this guitar sounds. It's just got all kinds of mojo.
Tourified.
Yes,
Yeah,
tourified.
right. It's been relicked from inside out.
Yeah,
Yes.
people pay a lot of money for a guitar that's been relic like that, babe. I mean, you just got one right out of the box.
Yeah, well, I couldn't
Well,
afford
I
a lot
mean,
of money.
Somebody lost a house, maybe. I don't know.
But since I've had this guitar hot rodded by a few people, I've had some work done on it. Frets and just piecing it together. Arthur's Music Store in Indianapolis, Indie
Jim
String
Bennett.
Theory, and Jim Bennett.
Randy Lucas.
Nick Romy did the fret job for me. And so anyway, that's my guitar, and I love her. And even though they told me she wasn't going to be tour-worthy or road-worthy, we've been keeping it going now for about 7 years.
Great sounding instrument.
Thank you.
Love the way you play it.
Thanks.
Yeah. And did you start, John, playing mandolin, or was guitar your first instrument?
Guitar was definitely my first instrument there. You know. And I started with an acoustic my sister brought home from college. I'd sneak over to her room and play it, and I didn't really know how to play it or anything about guitar. And I actually was fingerstyle playing then as a kid. I didn't know anything about a pick, and then, caught the bug, get my parents to give me a guitar. Of course, I wanted an electric guitar. So I went into playing heavy metal and all that sort of stuff. And then years later, somebody took me to my first bluegrass festival. And about the same time, somebody handed me my first Townes Van Zandt CD. And, those are life-altering moments. So
Well, right. Well, so you talk about what your music is. I can't think of a better way to describe it than something Townes Van Zandt-y melded with something bluegrassy.
Yeah, it's all in there somewhere. And,
Yeah.
And through playing, being a guitar player, but, I fell in love with playing mandolin, and I thought it'd be really neat to learn another instrument, because I've noticed, if you have writer's block or something like that, or even as an instrumentalist, you get kind of, you get stuck on new ideas. Well, either a new tuning or just another instrument in general is a good way to shake off that writer's block, and open your mind up in a different direction. And that's how mandolin started for me, and I just kept playing it. I had the opportunity pretty early on to get into a bluegrass band called the Lonesome Sharks. I love those guys, and that's how I got this mandolin right here, actually, because I walked into that with not a very good mandolin, and the banjo player was like, here, play this mandolin. And so, that was really, I learned a lot in that band.
And you said you worked that mandolin off with gigs, right?
I did, yeah. Gig after gig, we played a lot of shows. A little, $50 here and there. You don't make a lot of money in bluegrass, but I chipped away at it for 7 years or so. But we got her done there. But so I'm really fortunate to have a lot of nice instruments. I got, the couple here, and this mandolin here is all this wear and tear on it. If you can see it on the camera, is all mine. Here, if you want to zoom in, this is kind of my funny joke. If you want to know this mandolin is mine, you can see the back of it there. See it? Boom.
See, it's a handprint in the finish. He's worn it
it
all off
is,
himself.
It's perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're a pretty physical player. I mean, you go after it, which is really cool.
I've had luthiers say, what do you do? Lay block for a living? I'm like, pretty close. Union electrician. That's pretty, pretty. Have to have pretty strong hands.
Yeah. So that's your. What else do you do? You are an electrician. Is that what you do full time now?
No, I'm a full-time musician now.
You are.
And I do electrical stuff on the side, but we've really tried to make this leap, to make this work for us. Especially coming into this album. Whether it'll continue that way, I don't know. But for now, that's kind of what we're trying to do this summer, as much as we can.
And what is your connection to? So about a month and a half ago, I wrote down some notes, and something I had in my note had to do with guitar making.
I used to mill wood for a guy named Randy Lucas, and he's a pretty famous luthier around in the 90s. He made some of the early Martin pre-war Martin replicas and stuff that are just off the charts. They're considered Holy Grail guitars. And he got into milling his own top wood, which was specifically Adirondack spruce for Martin guitars. And incidentally, Bourgeois, Collins, Kathy
Collins.
Winger, pre-war guitars, you name it, really. A lot of people bought Adirondack, specifically Adirondack spruce, which is, what the original, Martins would have been made out of, pre-World War II.
Sure, and yeah, so talk about the importance of, like, if you bought an instrument, would it automatically have an Adirondack spruce top?
No, I mean, it's most of them now are Sitka spruce. So any of the Adirondack spruce top guitars are from like the Martin Custom Shop or real high end
We can't afford
private
those.
luthiers. Yeah, out of my price range. I didn't get one made. Maybe someday I will with Adirondack spruce. But it was a really amazing process. I got to from raw log running a wood miser sawmill, quarter sawing the boards out, and then taking them down into the shop, and then slicing those in the slices like you would a sandwich, and then you get your booked matched tops out of that stuff, and learn how to sand it, dry it, stack it, grade it, box it up, and ship it right back to Nazareth, Pennsylvania, in a crate or on a pallet rather.
So we made parts.
Yeah, make guitar parts.
That's
Oh,
what we
yeah,
used to
did
say. He's
bracelet
making
too.
parts for guitars, and that's why we can't play
Bracelet.
gigs, because he's
The
making
occasional
parts.
mandolin top. I did get to mill the occasional mandolin top,
And but that wasn't Adirondack spruce.
But no, it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
for sure, it can be. There's several different types of spruce and stuff that you can use for tone woods, if you will. But Adirondack spruce is still a very prized mandolin top because that's what the original Lloyd Laura Gibsons were made out of in the 20s, which is like the creme de la creme mandolins.
And do you really believe that you can hear the difference between an instrument with Adirondack spruce versus one with Sitka spruce top?
Some people can. I have a little harder time doing it, but those old ones, they sure do sound good. It's hard to dispute. But the thing about Sitka is you can get more yield.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're bigger West Coast trees.
Right. I would love to hear you talk a little bit, John, about soloing.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
as I've listened to your songs, it was hard for me to imagine that when you play these songs tomorrow morning on the radio program, wherever you're going, it was hard for me to imagine that you're going to play the solo the same way.
I'm going to try. Now, some of them I leave a little looser than others, and have some fun in there. But so I've actually started writing more and more parts because it's just nice to develop a line and get really good at it and improve on that and move on from that to the next solo or something like that.
So the
it's
short
like,
answer is yes, he will be playing those solos. He plays those pretty
the-
much
to the
everywhere.
best
I
of my
find it
ability.
amazing
I mean-
too. Yes, yes.
They feel very loose, but you said sometimes you have fun.
Yeah.
And go out, and so is it fun, or does it feel like when you take off and just sort of go wild and improvise that you're sort of running down a very steep hill?
Well, it's kind of the best part sometimes. It can be exciting to get back to home base and be able to do that on an instrument, that I've worked on and woodshedded, if you will, enough that I can get around on it and kind of sculpt a song for how it feels, because it feels differently in here than it does somewhere else on some other stage. So, in here particularly, we're able to play a lot quieter, so there's some nice moments that get to come out that may not normally be there. So I love being able to sculpt a song that way.
Yeah,
Dynamically speaking.
Yeah, I was wondering about the dynamics, because when you play in a house that's got a lot of clinking glasses and whatnot, nobody's going to really be able to appreciate
You
the
do a lot of the
dynamics.
old,
Yeah, right.
a lot of downstrokes and just cut through, It's a good thing about a mandolin. You can get them right between the eyes if you want to.
Well, I really love the feel and the loose feel of the solo accompaniment you do with the songs. To me, it adds a lot of emotion and kind of excitement from our point of view, because we're kind of wondering, where's this going to go? How's he going to bring it back?
Yeah.
And, it's really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Really
I'm
nice,
glad you,
yeah.
I'm glad you all
Ah, I
are
love it.
enjoying it. Yeah.
Just love it.
Well, I sure love playing for y'all. We've got some more songs coming.
Well, good. Well, good. We are just about to get there. I did want to ask you if you could talk about the new album, and I'd love to hear you all just talk a little bit about, I don't know, how you feel this album is a progression from where you were last, and how this has you coming maybe out of 2 very difficult years.
Yeah.
Can you
Well,
talk about it?
Yeah, this album started, as kind of like just an idea to keep the ball rolling, and we knew not too long after we started, the world started shutting down. And we were able to get some time with our sound engineer. He was able to, whenever he, make sure everybody's tested, all that sort of stuff. But, he was able to break away from his environment to come down, spend some time with us, and help develop this album. And it's been an amazing journey. It is definitely a growth from the last one, because we've lived through a lot of things in this period of time, and we've also developed these songs, developed the parts in different ways than we had before. So, in the mic, with the mic in front of us, being able to sculpt what we were getting ready to do, and Jamie, you want to add some more about that?
Yeah. So I was thinking about how we got to play with these songs over the long period of time that we had. So we were able to really get the feel right on all of them, which is something sometimes that's difficult to do in the studio with metered time and just a different kind of pressured environment. We were in our home, in front of our hearth, in the woods, with our pets and our food, and it was a really comfortable recording experience. And then also we could imagine different sounds that not just guitar and mandolin that John and I play, but we were able to invite some friends onto this record. So we actually have 10 guests on this record. Fiddle.
Kind of mushroomed.
Yeah.
We started to have more and more fun,
Yes.
with our friends. And
Yeah, we've got fiddle, viola, cello, piano, pedal steel,
washboard.
2 different kinds of banjo, a couple of different
All
bass
right.
players, washboard. We've got all kinds of sounds on this
I even
record.
played bass on a song. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
John played bass
All
on
right.
one too. So,
Got one.
so then we pulled the title of the record, "Shake Off the Cold," from our song "Bluebells" that we played earlier. We were imagining if there was a moment in time when a traveler would come in from the cold and play music with strangers, and that line, we plucked that because that was kind of, the takeaway for all of this record was to, okay, boy, that was a thing. All right, now let's just go ahead and shake that off and get out on the road and get back to doing what we love to do. And March 12th of 2020 was the first tour date for our 3rd record, Road May Flood. And that was the day all the venues started to close. So
Yep.
I do all of our booking and everything in the background, our management stuff. So it was pretty devastating, to have 8 months of a tour just fall apart, and all of our money we'd invested into Road May Flood. So I'm really proud of us for finding a way to grab the next crop of songs and turn them into a record that I think a lot of folks are going to enjoy listening to. It's interesting and fun for us to write about where we are from. A lot of these songs are about home.
Yeah.
Yeah, really glad to be able to work through those songs and get them out. I'm really excited for everyone to hear them. We were more experienced in the studio this time. The last time, we bounced around. We use our same engineer, Dan Bent, on these last 2 records. So that's kind of the similarity there. So you can kind of not only hear our growth, but you can hear his growth also maybe.
That's right.
So sonically, it'll be quite, a step from Road May Flood, which, we've been really proud of that record. That record's done pretty well for us out. What we do, you just kind of go around and sell some albums and, out of the back of the van or whatever, and people seem to pick them up, and they seem to have really liked it. So I'm really fortunate for that and thankful. And glad to have this next wave of songs out for
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah,
soon,
right.
very soon.
So what do we have coming up? You have Lonesome Time, Rambler, and Pretty Bird. Are those new tunes, older tunes?
There are new tunes.
Can you tell us about them?
Let me tell you about this one here.
Yeah.
So this next one here, if I may, the next one here is called Lonesome Time Rambler, and I will say this will be a Red Barn Radio exclusive. And this is a song that I wrote for Jamie Hood for her birthday last year, and I started playing it for her, and wouldn't you have it, she's just helped me make it a whole lot better. So, so this is now a co-write for us. And,
All right. Well, welcome back to Hammer and the Hatchet.
Thank you. Lonesome Time Rambler.
Time I've been a lonesome rambler. Lord knows I've tried to settle down. Left me blue and broken hearted. I found you, ramble for all time. Of miles I have rambled through distant fields. I have roamed. Untrue love nearly pulled me under. I found you and my lonesome rambling days are done. Time rambler, wandering through the stars all alone. With you by my side, we'll journey on together. We'll ramble on together for all time. Let's ramble on together for all time.
Thank you.
This one's called Pretty Bird. Your head is always in the clouds, right where you want it to be. My feet are firmly on the ground, in case you ever needed me. Fly, pretty bird, fly so high. If you ever happen to come down, stay with me a while. Be careful what you wish for. You never know when they'll come true. Bait your line for what you fish for. Do your best, follow through, and fly, pretty bird, fly so high. If you ever happen to come down, stay with me a while. You're gonna stumble when you take a fall. I hope that you will be humble. Don't get caught up in it all. Just fly, pretty bird, fly so high. If you ever happen to come down, stay with me a while. If you ever happen to come down, stay with me a while.
All right, well, this one here, really glad to have out on this album. And it's called Don't Follow Me.
Son, can't you see what coal mining's done to me? Put me in this ground for my time. Son, I know you're proud of your daddy's hard-working ways. Don't you ever follow me down this old coal mine.
Let me tell you all the hell the likes of which you've never seen. That's crushing cold and wet and black as pitch. Take the devil himself and break him at the knees. Sealed off a half mile, run him out to there. I was buried alive in this old Camden mine when all the timber gave way. Then I heard 3 more had died just trying to save our lives. Now God, hold on to our children and wives. Oh, son, can't you see what coal mining's done to me? Put me in this ground for my time. Son, I know you're proud of your daddy's hard-working ways. Don't you ever follow me down this old coal mine. Now you want to be a miner like my daddy before me, but I pray with my last breath to hear these words. Better get on out of this town, there ain't nothing for you here. Head on up north, there's factories there. Take care of your mom, never forget your song. Now, son, you're the head of the family. For the camp and I'll seal with a tombstone made of steel. Lost forever down this old coal mine. Oh, son, can't you see what coal mine has done to me? Put me in this ground for my time. Son, I know you're proud of your daddy's hard-working ways. Don't you ever follow me down this old coal mine. Have you ever come back around this old camping? Would you do a little something for the men, boy? I'll kick a few back for all of us trapped and pour a little out for me. Son, can't you see what coal mine has done to me? Put me in this ground before my time. Son, I know you're proud of your daddy's hard-working ways. Don't you ever follow me down this old coal mine. Don't you ever follow me down this old coal mine. Thank you very much.
Well, there are so many people to thank for our program. First, the Hammer and the Hatchet, John and Jamie, our guests this evening. We're ever grateful for our volunteers who make our production happen so beautifully each week. Our staff, John, Matt, Kate, Forrest, and Melinda, and Eric, and of course our producer, Ed Commons. And we want to thank all of you for listening to our webcast, watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and those listening to us on the Red Barn network of stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's premier radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. It's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, you should be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. And now I know all of us would love to hear one more tune from John and Jamie before they head out. Could you guys do that for us?
Yeah,
all
sure
right.
Can.
Let's welcome back the Hammer and the Hatchet.
About Charlie Bailey's. About Charlie Bailey's small engine repair. Well, you got a bad starter, need a cool drink of water. Bring your tractor on down to Bailey's small engine repair. You got a flat, but don't matter. Hard times will change your pattern. Bring your tractor on down to Bailey's small engine repair. Say you got a cast iron coal or an old Briggs & Stratton. Think your power's just a little laggy. We couldn't put them down. shot with a 44. He sells guns, knives, bait and tackle, candy, cigarettes, and tobacco. All the things you only want when you really need them. Yes, you got a bad starter, need a cool drink of water. Bring your tractor on down to Bailey's Small Engine Repair. You've got a flat, but don't matter. Hard times will change your pattern. Bring your tractor on down to Bailey's Small Engine Repair. Well, he'll fix up your tiller, even puts up with old man Miller, who likes to talk about the olden days while he kicks the dirt off of your tines. He'll just that carb on your weed whacker, says his grandson's a slacker. He keeps them fetching tools until he gets it right. Yes, you got a bad starter, need a cool drink of water. Bring your tractor on down to Bailey's Small Engine Repair. You've got a flat, but don't matter. Hard times will change your pattern. Bring your tractor on down to Bailey's Small Engine Repair. Now down the road, some dogs are barking and the day is growing dark. Gotta get to my bed and the dreams in my head so I can make it an early start. It's the hard turn of the ratchet today in the life of the hammer and the hatchet. Got our hands full of splinters. We're Pineapple certified. Yes, you got a bad starter, need a cool drink of water. Bring your tractor on down to Bailey's Small Engine Repair. You've got a flat, but don't matter. Hard times will change your pattern. Bring your tractor on down to Bailey's Small Engine Repair. Bring your tractor on down to Bailey's. Guns and knives, bait and tackle, candy, cigarettes, and tobacco. Weeder, line free, upright base, freshly sharpened lawnmower blades. Got old beat up aluminum canoes, spark plugs, new and used, minnows, new and used, 22 long rifle shells, bunch of stuff and weeds. It ain't for sale. Mallow bars, bows and arrows, chainsaw, one rusty wheelbarrow, DVDs and VHS. Charlie Bailey,
Oh,
he's the best. Says be kind, rewind. Charlie Bailey's Small Engine Repair. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's all for this very fun show with the hammer and the hatchet. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. You can also listen to archived performances on Spotify and iTunes, and you can watch mountains of video on the Red Barn Radio YouTube channel. Remember this, folks, every like, comment, share, and subscribe helps bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods. And finally this, if any of our featured artists are performing in your area, go out and hear them live. They need you now more than ever. Now from all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, keep working together to be safe and healthy, and until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.